So today we're going to go through POIs, or points of interest, what they are, what they're not, and how you can apply them to your trading using 3 different methods. Question which I get given multiple times a week is, what is a POI or what is a point of interest? A point of interest is explained within the name. It's a point of interest. What that is not is a signal for entry. Okay, so I use points of interest in the form of boxes. Okay, these are areas where I'm interested in to potentially get into a trade. So if we look at my current charts where we currently are, I mark out these different boxes. They represent different timeframes to me. So I want to see price when it reaches one of those areas for a reaction. Okay, we are looking for typically a reaction on the charts from those points of interest. The way in which I identify a POI may be different from how you identify a POI. So we're going to go through very briefly 3 different methodologies on where POIs can be identified, and I'm going to use a different chart for it. So POI number 1, which is probably the most commonly used, it's also one which I tend to use in my own trading strategy, is support and resistance, or sometimes recently known as supply and demand. They're slightly different, but we're just going to group the 2 together just for the purpose of this video. Now, if I was to try and mark out areas for support and resistance, or supply and demand, I would basically be looking at things like this. I would be looking for areas where price is constantly contested when it reaches an area. Okay, so I'm looking through here. We'd gone through originally, played about in this zone. We'd also played about there, retest, retest, reversal from here, another sort of retest and reversal. And again, it's an area which is turning into a little bit of a resistance area or a supply area. If you want to narrow these things down, you can literally just shrink it a tiny bit to maybe there, but that will bring us on to another one. But generally speaking, it's not too hard to find these. You just go to key areas on the chart which are being tested and retested over and over. So at the moment, if I was looking to get involved in a trade, we are already in this key area over here. I would be waiting for price to get down to here, so I would pretty much set an alert down here. Set an alert, it'll go off on my watch, or it'll go off on my phone or my computer or whatever, and it'll tell me that price has retraced down to here. I can now look for an entry. If I'm looking for an entry for a reversal, I would look for typically a reversal pattern or a reversal candle. So if I was looking for a reversal candle, I would be looking for a candle which looks a little bit like this green one here, but for it to reject from this area. Or I'd be looking for a very standard chop pattern, which is something like that on a lower time frame, and try and enter off of an order block for my own strategy and then lead up to this previous zone. Okay, so the first area is literally supply and demand. It's really, really simple. Use it. I'll just mark out a couple of areas on the chart which can be just identified super quickly, hopefully, to try and show you how simple it is to use supply and demand as a point of interest. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this kind of zone here, like we've got a tap and retest, we've got several retests down here. If price was to break below this and then this and then this, I'd be looking at this as a key area because it's been tested in the past. Don't know how far back this is going to go or if it extends. Yeah, look at that. Like, yes, it's gone through loads and loads of things, but just for the purposes of this, it's really quite simple. Supply and demand, support and resistance is POI number 1. POI number 2 is rebalances. Now, this is part of my trading strategy, which I use. I've noticed them happen a lot over the last 4 or 5 years, and incorporated it into how FTR works. They tend to happen in trending markets more than anything, but if the market is rebalancing, it is generally going counter trend. You will need to do your own research and backtesting on that statement, but it is very much a true case. But I tend to, I'm just going to do bar replay here just to demonstrate to you how it works. But we've had, generally speaking, just here, a break of structure right there. We had a previous break right here, without breaking above the high. So we're breaking lower, broken with a body, and then we had left behind, let me just do one more bar backwards, an imbalance. Okay, so an imbalance is right here. Okay, this area is an imbalance. The way to be able to identify or explain what a imbalance is when you've got candle number 1, which is this red candle, candle number 2, which is this huge red candle, candle number 3 being a green candle. When candle number 3 does not match up with its high to the low of candle number 1, that means that this area within candle number 2 is an imbalance. Now, a rebalance is very, very typically just when price comes up It doesn't have to just tap this area, it can go up higher, but it's when it meets back with candle number one. That's when I say that an area is being rebalanced. If it goes higher, it becomes mitigated. But I look for specific things when price gets into these areas to try to get reversals away. So I'm just going to drop down to the H4 and see what happens when we got to this area. Just going to use a trend line tool to see what happens when we do approach it. So we didn't quite mitigate it there. We're getting a couple of reversal looking candles, not enough to be able to get involved with just yet. I want to see a rebalance and possible mitigation. So for me, with my trading strategy, the way that I would work it, if I'm looking for purely just a rebalance off of this area, we've had a rejection candle with the green one, but it's still a green candle. It's still showing that there's potential momentum going upwards. I'm just going to check the highs. We have a sweep of the highs with this red candle and it becomes an engulfing candle. Literally my favorite type of candle. My entry, even though it looks massive on here, because it is, it's using the 4 hour, my entry is off the close of this candle, and my stop loss is typically adjusted to be just above the high of that candle, and then try and get short down to, bare minimum, it's going to be a break of that structure and down to somewhere else. But a point of interest is literally just this rebalance, okay? It doesn't mean that I'd place a trade directly off it. If I did, I could probably, using all my back testing results, going back over time, I could probably find that there is a nominal stop loss amount of, let's say, 10 pips or 20 pips or whatever it is that you're trading. That might vary massively, and it might be worthwhile literally just taking the risk on using a pending order on something like this. But typically speaking, I don't like to do that. I like to get a confirmation if I can, and I try to get an early confirmation, which is just the close of a candle, okay? I don't typically wait for chock to occur. It is probably the safest way to trade, waiting for a chock pattern to happen. But I know that with my probabilities, I'm actually much better getting involved like this. And we'll just click along, probably for me to end up with an upside down smiley face. Yeah, there. So it didn't work out this time. However, the point of interest is indicating to me that it is the area which I want to be getting involved in if we do get the right kind of pattern. This example didn't work out. So let's just try and find another one very briefly. That was quick. I just clicked on the 1 minute, but there is a rebalance section right here. Okay, just on the 1 minute, right there. Okay, so it's only just happened, I think. Oh no, it's still on bar replay, but it's right here. Okay, so if you're looking to rebalance this area, which is broken up, you just draw a trend line across. This is a reversal candle with this green candle. Again, it's showing a rejection of the area. You can get involved straight off of that initial entry, set your stop loss to be whatever it is you want it to be, and try and set yourself a target. There would be my preference. Again, I don't think it's going to work out because I'm pretty sure it plummets. It worked. That's how simple it can be when you're using a point of interest of a rebalance, okay? It's really quite a critical component of FTR. We use them pretty well, but you should not really enter off of a rebalance point of interest based on a hunch, okay? It needs to be with some form of confirmation. If we look at how price has sort of moved its way up, we are pretty much rebalancing areas, okay? Where these areas are rebalancing, like I've said before. Right, that's gonna move us on to number 3, trend lines. I tend not to use them. I know that trend lines aren't a real thing in trading. They don't actually signify anything apart from a pattern that you can recognize. But, I hate to tell you this, but it's not actually how the market moves, it's just man-made structure. However, if you combine a couple of the other elements that I've mentioned, which is the supply and demand and support and resistance and rebalancing, you know which direction the market's meant to be moving in. Now, I have said that this is an area pretty much of liquidity. It's going counter trend, even though it's trending upwards, because it is rebalancing, it's showing that there's a trend line forming and it should collapse, okay? Depending on what the higher time frames are doing. I haven't looked, let's just have a quick flick over to the 15. 15 slowly going up. Looks like it went up there and it's working its way down. Let's drop down to the M1, see what can happen. Again, you wouldn't get involved in any trades immediately. You're waiting for, in this instance, a break. Okay, so I would want to see a break, probably a chop actually in this instance, before I get involved again with another trade and then work my way down. So that's what I'm looking for, by the way. If I don't get that, I don't enter off of my POI. And again, point of interest. It depends entirely on your strategy of what your point of interest is. Okay, so let's just have a quick flick through and see what happens. There we go. If we now combine our strategies, which we've got on our POIs, base it on confirmations, what do we have first of all? We had our trend line confirmation. We had the break of the trend line, which is cool. We could then mark out our support and resistance or supply and demand areas as this, an area which has been played with before, like, tapped into there, created a load of sort of resistance up here. We've had another retest over here, created another like mini version within this. So there to retest and tap and go. And we've also had, only on a small version and you wouldn't have profited much from it, but we've had a rebalance of this kind of structure here. Okay, so if you start looking at all of these points of interest as just a point of interest, they are not places where you should just set pending orders, okay? They're areas where you are looking for the confirmation to get into the trade. Now, the drawback to using a POI rather than a set order, just a pending order off the key area, is that you are going to be waiting around. You are going to have to be present at your charts. You're going to have to use alerts more than anything. So you'll have to use an alert, come back to your phone, come back to your computer screen or whatever to be able to place the trade. But you do get a confirmation first, because if you don't get a confirmation, you don't do it. All right, it's as simple as that. You don't pull out in your car on a busy roundabout. You wait until it's, space for you to go. If everyone just did their own thing on the road, there'd be a lot more crashes than what there are. And that's exactly what a lot of people do wrong with their POIs. They mark up a POI and they think, I must trade from this because I've identified it because of X reason. And that X reason is based on statistics. Yep, cool, that's good. But they can improve their trading win rate and their risk reward ratio and their take home at the end of the day by waiting for confirmation. All right, so a little bit of a strange video, different one, but points of interest are exactly that. They're a point of interest. They are not a place to get immediately involved in. Wait for the confirmation.